Hello students, good to see you all today. So as we discussed about, we are going to understand about Python programming and how exactly is Python programming helping today's analytics. So what exactly is your Python programming? Python programming is a programming language which is extensively used in data analytics. As a part of business analytics, most of the companies prefer to use an open end or an open source software, which is basically an example is Python. So more or less, if we could talk about Python, you can understand that Python has helped a lot of companies in terms of the entire core of Python helps in data analytics. Now, looking into the features of Python, let me first of all explain to you all. It's quite easy. Easy in the sense that whenever you're using Python, right, for whoever is the person it could be, there's no hard and fast rule that you need to be a programmer. Even a person who has never done programming before can easily use this particular software. It's quite expressive in nature. Definitely it's free and open source. It's a high level programming language as compared to other programming language, like if you talk about C or any other languages which are called as a low level programming languages. It's highly portable, means that Python can work on various other systems as well. It is object oriented, it's quite extensible, and you can even embed Python into different platforms. Like if you are using some PCBs, printed circuit boards, you can embed Python into them, right? It is highly interpreted. It has got a very large standard library. uh, it's a GUI based programming as well, and it's dynamically typed. So no need to worry about it, since you guys are going to be uh, understanding this software for the first time. I believe that you all might be having a big question about how do we go ahead with installing this software. So today we are going to first do the task of installing the software. Now installing the software is quite easy. To install the software, you just simply need to go back to your Internet Explorer, or you can use Google Chrome as well, right? And you can simply type in Python, right? So when you click on Python, right, you are coming to this particular page which is called as welcome to python.org. You log on to this particular website, and here you are at the Python website. You have got a lot of documents that are available over here. You have an option to download the software, right? So if you want, you can click on downloads, right? And here when you click on download, you have an option that says download for Windows, right? So no need to worry about looking anywhere else, right? You can click on download for Windows. Now I believe some of you students would be using Mac as a platform. So if you are Mac users, you can simply go and click on Mac OS, and it will explain you about how to install for Mac OS. So by clicking on this particular latest Python release for Mac OS, right, it will help you with installing on Mac computers. So let us go ahead with installing for Windows, because I believe that most of you would be working on Windows operating system. So let us do that. So once when you click on Python and you start installing, right, there's a small exe file that is created at the bottom left hand side of your screen. If you can see my mouse cursor, it's on the bottom left hand side. Simply open up that file, right? It would ask you, would you like to run the software? Yes, I would like to. Okay, let us wait. Now it's asking you about where you wish to install the software, right? You can either click on customize install, or you can select the path as it has been said, right? For me, actually, I prefer to have my own setup, so let me click on customize. Now here you can select on what kind of things that you wish to install. You can install documentation, you can have your other programming packages, or if you want to have the integrated developer environment, you can install that as well as the Python test suite. Right, let us keep all of these checked for right now and then click next. Now if you want, you can install it for all users. Right, downloading debugging symbols. Here I prefer to install it on my D drive. However, you can leave this particular part unchanged and click install. Right, so it will ask you whether you wish to install. I'll click on yes. Right, it might take some time for us to install the software. Right, so let us see. So why exactly is basically Python such a well-known software? Now let me tell you all, you guys must be hearing about Python recently, but Python has been there into existence from a very long time, right? So Python was there as a programming language even before C, C++, and Java, right? But earlier at that time, this particular programming language was not quite, you could say, as popular as compared to C, C++. But recently, there has been an immense amount of demand for Python programming. The simple reason being because most of the companies who are uh, related to data and analytics prefer to use Python as a programming software, right? So let's talk about Amazon, talk about Google, talk about Facebook, or any of these companies. These prefer to use Python as a primary programming language. Now, what's the whole point of learning data analytics? So, you all students would be involved in dealing with daily, you could say, data as such. And now, all the analysis part of the various calculations that are being carried out, basically, we prefer to use Python as a programming language to do the same. So, in short, Python helps you to improve your logic, improves your programming skills, and also, trust me, when you talk about having a good resume on your CV, right? Yeah, a skill set, a Python, knowing Python as a programming language adds a lot of skill sets, right, onto your CV. So, without wasting a lot of time, we will go ahead with setting up this installation. It will just take a few minutes for the installation to complete, and once when the installation is completed, we will take forward and understand a little bit of basics about how the programming works. Okay, so it's fine even though you don't have any information about programming languages, right? It's not nothing to worry about because Python is designed for people who have no background of programming. So in short, it's going to be fun. It's going to be very easy to learn, and also the aspect of learning business statistics and business mathematics, right? So we intend to bring in the entire curriculum of business mathematics into via Python programming, and just to improvise on how exactly you can use this software to do the work that we have done before. So there are various other softwares as well which are used for data analytics, but why exactly Python only? So first of all, please understand that Python is an open source software, right? When I talk about open source, there are basically developers who have openly contributed to this particular software, and you have the complete liberty to use it as per your own discretion. The second thing is that Python is also an object oriented programming software, right? So when it comes to programming, right, you can use Python as efficiently as you be using C, C++, Java, or any other programming languages. In fact, Python has always been on the forefront of most of the programmers who are into web analytics. So it's quite simple and quite easy to understand as well. So I hope that Python helps you with understanding the entire software. Okay, so here we are just installing the software. Let us wait till the time that it is done with the installation. In the meantime, you also can check out the website of Python. You can go into Python, and this is where you can check all the various options available. You have your jobs available. You have your community, right? If you want to know, or if you want to get yourself started with how to program on Python, right, you can look into various other options. So as you can see, Python is used in web development. It is used in GUI development, right? You have it for software development as well, scientific and numeric as well. So all of these things are being used in Python. Now if you want, you can go into your documentation, and you can have an entire documentation in terms of tutorials also available online, where you can check into other documents. Okay, you can go into the beginner's guide and check for more details about Python, right? So this is where you can get more documentation about Python, about how Python can be used. One of my one of the areas where I like to see more details about Python, right? So here is basically a community site, right? So what exactly is the Python community meant for? So if you want to have any kind of a support anywhere, if you are stuck up with programming languages as such, Python helps you with, this community helps you to look into these particular problems, but you need to be registered for that, right? So let's look into the installation. Yes, it looks like our installation is now complete. Let us click on close, right? And let us check about our Python has been installed or not. Yes. So uh, let us start with understanding Python and its basic graphical user interface. So for Windows users, you can simply click on start, and most probably in your programs you would see a folder which is by the name of Python 3.8, right? And you have two different options, right? So you have IDLE, that is Python 3.8 32-bit, and Python 3.8. Now let us click on the first one, that is Python IDLE, right? Now what you all see over here is basically a command prompt, right? So let me just go and improve. Okay, now just a minute. Okay, so what you are currently looking is basically the Python graphical user interface. This is not a graphical user interface, but this is more of like a command line interface. So what is basically a command line interface? So if you all remember, if you all click on start and type in cmd, right, and if you click on cmd, you would see a black window, right? This is basically called as the command prompt, right? So similar to a command prompt, a Python has also got a particular command prompt, which is basically meant for entering your Python programming code, right? So this particular command prompt is in two different versions. You can go ahead with clicking on Python again and clicking on Python 3.8, which is just a 32-bit black screen, right? Unless as compared to the other one, both of them do the same task, but it's just a customer's preference about what would you like to use. Would you like to go for the black screen or the white screen? So let us stick with the shell prompt over here, and let us do a little bit of programming. Now the whole objective of explaining to you all Python is because from your business maths point of view, we will be using Python to execute computer programs for our maths sums, and we are going to learn Python side by side. So do you all see on the left hand side, top left hand side, there are these three arrows and there is a cursor blinking. What you all see, this is called as the command prompt. Now anything that you type over here would be taken as a command by Python, and it will immediately interpret it as code. Python can be used for doing various calculations. For example, if I want to do something like 5 plus 5, okay, and I hit enter, I immediately get the total, that is 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. Similarly, I can do a lot of calculations of addition and hit enter, and I will get the total, right? Let us say if we can do the subtraction, 5 minus 6 minus 8 minus 9, hit enter, and it gives me a negative 18, right? Similar to this, there could be any other calculation that we would like to do. So let us do some multiplication. So 5 into 8, so we get 40, right? So let us say 9 into 5, we get 45, so that's working, right? And let's say if I want to do something else, so I want to do division, so 9 divided by 5. Now you all would see that 9 divided by 5 is 1.8. Now what you all see 1.8 over here is none other than a float value, right? As compared to 40, which is basically an integer, this is a float, right? So anything which can be divided would be termed in decimals. We call them as float in programming. So if I take 89 divided by 56, right, we get a float. Now these values are taken up to the last decimal as displayed in Python, and it's up to the highest accurate value that we can ever think of. So if it's 9 divided by, so let's say if I take 10 divided by 3, right, we get it up to 3.3333, right? So this is basically your addition, that is 5 plus 5, you get 10. This is subtraction, right? This is multiplication, and this is division, right? Now many times that we face an issue is like we want to find out square, right? So to find out square, we use 5 into 5, right? 5 square is 25, right? But what if we want to find out 5 raised to 5? So we can do another way. One is 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 into 5, right? We get it as 5 raised to 5, that is 3125. However, to find out a square, there is another way to do this, that is 5 into 5, and we get 3125. Now 3125 is basically your 5 raised to 5, that is 5 raised to the power of 5. Similarly, if you want to find out square root, right, or if you want to find out a cube root or anything as such, that can be also done. So let's say if I want to find out 5 raised to power of, 3125 raised to the power fifth root of 3125. So 3125 and star star, and we use the bracket, that is 1 divided by 5, right? So by doing this, we get your 5 as raised to the power, right? Similarly, let's say if I want to find out 27 and I want to find out 1 raised to the power 1 cube root of 27, right? I hit enter and I get 3.0. So similarly, if you want to find out square and if you want to find out square root, we can do that using Python. Similarly, we can use other uh, aspects as well. Okay, what we can do is we can go ahead with using other options, like let us say when I say 5 divided by 2, what I get is 2.5, right? uh, there is another option, like instead of when I say I divide, so when I go ahead with dividing 5 by 2, basically I divide into two parts and there is a 0.5 remainder there is there. If I don't want the remainder, I can use an option which is 5 and I can use a double slash sign and divide it by 2, which will give me only the division part. The remainder is not there. However, if I want to have the modulus part, I can use 5 percentage 2 and whatever is the remain that is there, that would be available, right? So what we are doing right now is we are understanding the various math that can be done in Python programming. So without ado much time, right, I would like you all to thank you all for watching this first video. I want you all to subscribe to this channel and also leave a comment that you have watched this video. Also, I would expect you all to send a screenshot of the work that you have done on Python programming as a screenshot and attach it on this YouTube channel. Right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. Have a nice day.